And she's talking about how when people look at her, they see her as strong, they see her as whole, they see her as put together. But then when you look inside her bowl,
Wow.
that is the inside of the bowl. So we went from this picture far my right of everything is put together. You don't see any broken pieces. You just see the design on the outside to looking at the inside. And that's looking at her internal system. And you see all those pieces there. And I was just in tears. It's like,
eyesight from everything at the bottom.
Became a mighty battle cat. And I became He-Man.
Can I hide with you?
Oh, you want to know if you can hide with me or if I can hide with you? You choose. Would you like to hide together?
You hide with me.
Now we're under here.
28, 29, 30. Ready or not, here I come. Thank you.
Well, hi, Carmen. Thank you so much for being part of our fourth annual Innovative Child Therapy Symposium. I literally work with you every chance I get. I love you. I love everything that you're doing. And I've learned a ton from you. You do pretty much everything.
I'm trying to slow down this year.
Okay, so that's the theme. You're try to throttle back a little bit.
Just a tad bit.
Now, what we're going to cover today is something that I seen like you post about it, but I've never seen it like in any kind of training anywhere else. So I am so excited. But before we get into that, let me have you just tell people who you are and what you do.
Okay. I am Carmen Jimenez Pride. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, registered play therapist. I always got to slow this one down. Internationally credentialed Sandtray therapist, EMDR trained therapist, consultant in training. One that I'm most proud of is an IFS certified therapist and trainer. I'm an assistant trainer now. So I have a private practice here in Augusta, Georgia, where I see children and adults. I do play therapy with children and adults. And I'm trying to balance that out with training and educating others and consulting and helping bring other therapists on to do the things that I do. So that's mainly me, plus a bunch of other certifications and things like that. But I love giving back to my community by when I learn something, bring it back and help educate and teach others to do the things that I do.
I know you do that for our play therapy community. You're a huge resource. You didn't even, when you said those other things, there's like a whole other list. You didn't even talk about your products you have. You have some great products, and many of us are like
Yeah.
using staples in our practice.
Yeah, and I always forget that. And it's so weird when I have to talk about myself. I forget a lot of stuff. I think I'm so humble when it comes to it. I'm a children's book author. I'm the creator of Focus on Feelings. That's my main jam, where I help parents, teachers, therapists, anyone that picks up Focus on Feelings materials to help teach children emotional literacy. I'm a big believer when you increase their emotional literacy, you're increasing their emotional awareness.
Ooh.
So when they're learning about how they feel and being able to express that, they're connecting with themselves a little bit better. And I start that at a really young age with the products that I have.
Yes, yes. And they're so like kid friendly, they're diverse, they're fun, they're bright, they're playful. I love it. I've even like went like as part of this went to other therapist office and there's your stuff right there on their shelf.
I get so excited when I look at other therapists that do videos and they post different things and I see one of my products. I'm like, oh, yes, they're all over the place. And it gets so exciting for me. So exciting.
You're so creative too. I can't even imagine what it's like in that brain of yours because it's like you go from like one amazing thing to the next and creating those products. I mean, you have like the little game pieces where the the feelings and the body expressions are on it, the books. You have cards too, right? Even for EMDR therapists, you have like stud scales and some of those.
Yes.
Wow, so good.
I'm just a big believer. If I can't find it out there, then I'm going to create it. And with focus on feelings, because it's so diverse, I want therapists to be able to have products that they can see themselves in. And then the populations that they work with, they'll be able to see the kids that they work with, be able to see them. Oh, they have hair like me, or their skin tone is like me. They can just be able to see that reflection of something similar. And that's really, really important in the work that I do.
Oh, yes, you're the host of the Diversity Summit, and you make it
Right.
available to some. You like, gosh, there's so many things. It's like one of the.
So many things.
Okay, so we'll put links to all that below. But today we're going to talk about, I don't even know how to pronounce the word, the Japanese bowl, where they repair the bowl with the gold. You have a therapeutic activity that's based on that old practice.
And I'm gonna mess it up now. Kintsugi, and I probably be saying it wrong, but it's Kintsugi art and therapy. Um, Last year I took a workshop called Broken Bowl by Krista Bremen. Bremen. I'm going to mess that up. Where she taught like the main concepts of Kintsugi and how to incorporate that in practice. And I was sitting in the workshop, I was like, this would be perfect for parts work. This would be perfect to do with children, with adults, especially my teenagers, just across the board, and incorporating that IFS piece into it. Because our kids are walking around. I'm going to stop saying kids. Our people walking around, and they feel broken.
Mhm.
And they feel like they're in pieces. And we talk about a lot of parts in IFS. And this is a method that I have really sat back and worked with to bring all of those pieces together so an individual can see that, hey, I'm whole.
Oh,
I'm whole and I'm beautiful.
oh, sometimes they'll even say that I'm broken. I've even had an adult use that as a negative cognition. That's a painful feeling. For those watching that may not be familiar with IFS, that's internal family system.
Yeah.
That's your big thing.
That's my main jam. That's my main jam. And I got a slide for, is it okay that I pull up my slide?
I would love to see your slide. You
Okay.
should with whatever, anything you have, we would have learned from you.
And just like that, I forgot how to do, like, what do I do here?
There should be like, there you go.
There we go.
You make
Oh,
the most beautiful presentation. Oh, you use Canva too.
I love Canva. Like business side note, masterclass, real quick. Canva is everything, y'all.
Mhm.
So I've already introduced myself,
Mhm.
but want to talk about what Kintsugi is. It's a Japanese art of putting broken pottery pieces back together with gold.
Mhm.
And it's a metaphor for embracing your flaws and imperfections. So if you do a lot of research, or if you do research, period, and you look up Kintsugi, that's going to be the biggest thing that you see with this Japanese art form, that they break things. And it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be, okay, I'm going to break it on purpose, like we do in this workshop that I use this with. But things get broken and they fix it. So how many times, and Jackie, this is a question for you, and I want everybody listening to think about it. How many times have you broke a bowl or you broke a cup? And you probably say a couple of cuss words, and that's okay, no judgment. And then you pick up the pieces and you just throw the pieces away.
Yeah. Yeah. Scoop it up in the dustpan and then
Mhm.
toss it. Oh, just even you saying that and just having that context of like humanity kind of paralleled with it. There's a heaviness that goes with it, almost like a discarding of it.
Yeah, and I think back, my grandmother is no longer with me, and she had this cup that I loved. And I kept it, like I kept it through college,
Mm.
through most of my adult life. And then when I was living on my own, I broke it.
Okay.
And it just fell and it broke. And I was just standing there and I was like, oh my goodness, I broke my grandmother.
Oh.
And you know how we just connect things to the people that we are close to. We connect our life experiences to things. And just in that moment, and I'm feeling it again, like, ooh, let me take a
Yeah,
breath.
I could feel it too, just
Like
when you
I
say that.
broke, I broke her. This was hers. And, having very few things that represent her, like that really hurt. And all I did was just scoop it up, put it in the dustpan, and threw it in the garbage. Like at now, I wish what I know now, I would have kept that and put that back together with this Kintsugi practice. So it's really taking these broken pieces that we have and putting it back together. And now we have a piece of art. And as you can see in the picture, like this is a bowl that was intentionally broke.
Mm-hmm.
And we put it together to create a beautiful piece. And this
Oh,
is that piece.
oh, there it is. Can I stop your sharing so we could see it,
Yeah,
fully?
that.
Oh, yes. Wow. Wow. Past, future. Wow, that's beautiful. And what did you use super glue to put it back together?
So I used it's like a super glue. It's the E4, it's the E with the number glue. I don't forgot the name
Oh,
of it. Um, and you can use so many different mediums on here. This was a napkin that I cut up,
oh, okay.
and this is tissue paper. And here's some stickers
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
and
Oh,
paint. And I got real creative. I really pushed myself. This is a fabric that I completely love
oh, oh,
and put
thanks for
fabric
the
on there.
glitter. Oh, oh my goodness. And it's all you. It's all you.
Mhm.
Oh,
And then on the inside,
wow.
I
Love.
can represent different pieces.
Oh my goodness. It's like meeting you in the bowl form. She
Mhm.
loves to dream. She does love to dream.
I do.
I felt
Yeah.
that in just looking at it. I can imagine what it's like to create it. You know that Rumi quote, like in the broken places is where the light gets through. I can't remember the exact
I
wording.
don't either, but I know what you're talking about. And like this one has like all the pieces like put back together really nicely, but I have one and I don't have it with me that has a hole in it.
Oh,
And it's just the pieces, like the pieces were too small
yeah.
and it left a hole. So it's like even though that hole's there, it's still beautiful.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. I think about that's how sometimes we weather life. Sometimes we do have holes in places that don't fit back together, but it can be beautiful. Wow. Okay.
And I connect that with internal family systems, which is a therapy model. If you don't know what it is, IFS, internal family systems. It's a therapeutic model that we look at us in multiplicity, that we are made up of parts as subpersonalities, where we have managers, firefighters, and exiles. And those managers and firefighters are what's called protectors in our system. So managers are proactive. They're there to maintain the structure. And then the firefighters are reactive. And when those emotional things come up, they come in to take those away by any means necessary. And then we have our exiles, which are our traumas that we experience. So internal family systems, the model really goes in and we're able to work with those parts. So when we put this bowl together,
Mhm.
this bowl represents our whole internal system. And these are the different parts. And we can externalize our parts and get really creative with having these different parts to show. And then we have the outside and that inside
Wow,
of the
Carmen, as you described that, I think about like, oh, that looks really cool. I think like behaviors, we hear that a lot as child therapists and their adaptations of the nervous system to survive. When you describe them as like managers, like proactive, and then the firefighters as reactive, just really trying to put out the fire, it lends itself to compassion. Like this one's just doing what it needs to do to help. Um,
yeah.
instead of mad at that, like this one's just trying to serve its function. Wow.
Yeah.
And I'd never thought about it in that way before.
Yeah, by any means necessary. And just being, if anything else, like if I don't heal another person or help another person, um, I'm okay because now I know how my internal system works. So I've done a lot of work and doing internal family. You just don't do internal family systems. You like live and breathe internal family systems.
Sounds
Like
like
you
who
just
you
don't
are.
sit in that training and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to take this back. No, this training forces you to look at your own system. So
Mhm.
I have learned how my inner workings work, how my behaviors, like, okay, that's a firefighter. Like that's coming in and that's protecting that little one inside of me,
Oh,
by any means necessary. And it's helped me grow as a person. So when things happen, it's like, okay, let me humble myself and come back. And I'm like, Jackie, that wasn't me. That was younger me that
yeah.
responded to you. Or that was avoiding me that it didn't respond to your email. And I'm able to recognize that and not hate that part of me, but embrace that part of me because it's protecting me from something. So it's like definitely worth the work.
What a paradigm shift. And I think about like even like Dan Siegel's work talks about like circling back and making reparatives. Just realizing that and being able to have that awareness enough to know, hey, that was just my firefighter part. Let me make a repair attempt with that person. That could save relationships. I know a lot of families that I've worked with, there's been estranged family members, like over things that were probably they just didn't know what was happening in their nervous system to give a name to it and to be able to kind of look at it what it is and be able to circle back and kind of go in any kind of like repair mode. That's
Yeah.
life changing.
Yeah, because there's always going to be ruptures.
Yes.
They're going to be intentional ruptures and intentional ruptures. So having the skill set to repair and know why you're repairing and know what you're repairing is very important.
Oh, that's good. Boy, there's that one piece, just that piece could raise somebody's quality of life, change somebody's childhood, affect somebody's
Right.
significant other relationship. Okay, so this one looks very different than the one that you showed.
Yes, this one is so powerful. I wanted to do a test run with my one of my besties. So this is my bestie in the picture, and she gave
Yeah.
me permission to use it. And going through the motions with her and explaining to her about her internal system and how she's made up of parts. And I just let her take that information about IFS and her system and get creative with it. And the only directive outside of let's break your bowl was let this represent who you are.
Mm,
So I let her work. We're at my kitchen table. And you can see stuff in the background. We're at my kitchen table and I'm working on mine and she's working on hers. And then she's like, I'm done. And I'm like, it's like, where's the pieces? Where's the broken pieces?
yeah.
I saw you break the bowl. I saw you paint. I saw you do all these things. And she's like, well, when you look at me, I'm whole. I'm beautiful and I'm whole. And I just started crying. She's like, you big dummy, what are you crying for? And I just got so emotional about it. And she's just like, you're crying? And she's talking about how when people look at her, they see her as strong, they see her as whole, they see her as put together. But then when you look inside her bowl,
Wow.
that is the inside of the bowl. So we went from this picture far my right of everything is put together. You don't see any broken pieces. You just see the design on the outside to looking at the inside. And that's looking at her internal system. And you see all those pieces there. And I was just in tears. Like I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it now.
Yeah.
And this is what she deals with on the inside. And that's a lot of us that are walking around that we are so beautiful on the outside, but we have so many different pieces on the inside and we can be considered as we're broken. in
Yeah.
those pieces. But the thing that I love about this activity and this practice is you see those pieces together, even though it's just words.
Hmm.
But look at how the pieces are put together, how it's imperfect, but it's perfectly done.
Wow.
It's just amazing to me.
Wow. And it's so very beautiful. Goodness, Carmen, that makes me think of like when people put on a mask, it's almost like I can't be vulnerable. Thinking even going back to like the cognitions for EMDR, I can't show or feel my emotions. I need to put on this front. It seems like that at least from my perspective, I know we don't analyze people's art, but it seems very representative of like I look one way on the outside, very strong and put together, but there's actually some parts in here that are broken, but just the process of gluing it back together while you're mindfully kind of just experiencing that. Oh, how therapeutic. This is so brilliant.
And it goes to just that process of sitting and representing, and here's the pieces of the bowl that I just showed you.
Uh-huh.
Um, just something simple as things are better with glitter. That just speaks to a little girl part of me.
Yeah.
Uh,
I could see the little girl. I didn't even know the little girl part of you, and I feel like I know the little girl part of you. Oh,
like being able just to represent just different pieces. And I think another thing that this makes me think about is that as professionals, as therapists, we are put on this pedestal of we have to be perfect. We have to have our stuff together. We have to be just on target with everything. And we have to present in the public a certain way.
yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to do, right? Like there's, even though I'm a play therapist, there's a little one inside of me that there's been certain sessions, I'm going to be vulnerable and be honest about it, that there was nothing therapeutic going on in those sessions. I just needed to play.
Yeah.
I needed that. And because I needed that, I created a space for my client to just be free and to play. And then, now thinking about it, there was a therapeutic piece to it. But just knowing what our systems need and what we need and who we are, and there's different pieces of us, and being able to represent that externally is just, again, an amazing thing.
It is amazing. And to be able to kind of look at yourself through that light, like you're identifying this is the little girl part of me. It makes me think about like some of the clients that we work with really experience shame from like whatever had happened to them, like throughout their life. They may have this shame, and then really the only thing that is even effective with that is like self-compassion or just compassionate. And it seems like this really lends itself to let me honor that little girl. Let me think she likes glitter. Let me have her put something on here. Seems very
Yeah.
compassionate, very much like you matter and you like glitter and you get a space on the bowl.
Yeah. And you've been seen and you've been heard. Like
Oh,
every time this comes up, I feel like, okay, people are seeing me, and it feels safe.
mm,
And using that word, we use it a little too much, but being able to have that little one represented in me, it feels safe for her to be seen. And it has not always been that way.
oh,
So doing that work,
ooh,
doing that work allows that.
that right there hasn't always been that way. And I think about like, let's even just talk about trauma. Like, when someone's traumatized, they truly are kind of stuck in the past, like in the time that whatever it is when they said in the nervous system that was traumatic for them. When you say, "Well, it hasn't always been that way," there's this awareness that it's not like that now. It brings you to experience like process that's in the past, and I'm in the present now, and to have that time awareness that maybe wasn't there before.
Exactly. And putting my EMDR glasses on for a minute, how that part, EMDR and IFS glasses actually, how that part holds a lot of those negative cognitions, and doing the work, doing EMDR work, doing IFS parts work, shifting from those negative cognitions to those positive cognitions gives that power and that strength for that part to be seen and to be present. And knowing that work has been done. Work has been.
You could like integrate. I mean, it sounds like I'm not trained in IFS. I will be eventually, I think. 'Cause, I mean, you've sold me on it, just even hearing these pieces. But the thought of like being able to kind of integrate it in that way seems like it would take EMDR, like, I know it's a very integrative type therapy, to a deeper level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely taking it to a deeper level. One thing that it's not talked about often, but it's something that always comes to mind with me when I do parts work or doing parts work, even integrating EMDR, that if I'm working with a part and we're processing a memory and we're replacing, or I like to say knocking out those negative cognitions.
Yeah.
We're knocking them out. We're tapping different stuff in, we're bringing it in, that there's other parts of the system that hears that. And it might be that little one that used to be like super scared to be seen and to be heard. There could be another part just as scared or even more scared than that part. And it's watching. Our system watches. Watch. Okay, that part can be healed. Maybe I can be healed too. So that opens up the opportunity for the work to really take place. And there's so many working parts to that. As like, for example, the therapeutic relationship. That makes me going back to the therapeutic powers of play, the therapeutic relationship, increasing that communication. Now I can't remember the rest of the powers of play, so don't judge me. But all of these little components of that, again, that therapeutic relationship between the therapist and between the client. And then that relationship that we talk about in IFS, that relationship with self.
Yeah.
And then looking at through the EMDR perspective, having that courage, and I call it having that courage to bring up and reprocess those memories, to even bring them to the table.
All of that seems like safety. And safety, that's where the treatment is. Like the relationship's safe between self and others, and all of this, like, and then the part that's observing, because, I think about like how some clients will even, just come in with attached to their parents' legs, and they'll look from behind just to observe to make sure everything's safe. That happens internally as well. Wow, a lot happens with that bowl. What kind of bowl is it? Is it terracotta, or like what is the actual bowl material that it's made out
of? It's just a acrylic bowl, ceramic bowl.
Okay.
And let me see if there's any. Yeah, that's the last one of that one.
I love it.
It's a ceramic bowl, and you can take any bowl. Yeah. And you prep it, you put a primer on it, and you let it sit. I've primed, you should see my backyard. I've primed half of the deck. I'm gonna be in trouble with these bowls. You prime it, and then once it's primed, like, you can take any bowl that has a design on it or anything, and after you prime it, it'll be this color white, and it's ready for painting. And then you break it and you get creative with it.
Oh, that's so good. So the breaking it is part of, like, the person creating it is the one that breaks it, or do you break it as a clinician?
No, oh God, no. That's
Okay,
like, no, we don't do that.
Okay,
that golden rule is you don't go in anybody's Sandtray. You don't break anybody's bowl. Same type of difference. What happens is we look at the attachment, with this bowl. Because I send out, when I do this workshop, I send out the bowls to people, and they get their bowl, and it's like, oh, this is my bowl, even though there's nothing on it. This is my bowl. And we start talking about how this bowl represents who we are. So it becomes very difficult to break said bowl.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, to
and
even
we,
break it themselves, but if you were to break it, the nervous system would okay. Ding ding
yeah,
ding.
it's like I'm getting a broken bowl. Like, no, nah, this is my bowl.
Yeah.
Carmen broke my bowl. So no, it's going through. I go through a meditation piece where we connect with the bowl. And when we're connecting with the bowl, we're using the bowl as a metaphor of who we are, looking at us. And then we break the bowl, and then we notice what's going on in our systems when we break that bowl. I have done a couple of workshops where we broke the bowl and I took a sud scale.
Wow.
So on that scale, where are you sitting with your bowl being broken? And there's usually really high. And then I check back in. We do a meditation as we're painting and we're creating the bowl. Okay, what is your sud scale now? Like, where's that at now? And
It
it's
looks like some titration. And
yeah,
for those watching Sud Scale, the subjective unit of distress, like how big does that feel? Gosh, even me just imagining you as a therapist running the workshop, you're probably like, okay, hold on, here it goes.
right. Here it comes. And then when we put the bowl back together, doing that process and just watching people like just doing this number and just looking at their bowl, taking that sud scale again. And just seeing how I'm very connected to my bowl. Like
It's
I'm holding it close, because this represents me. So even thinking about like now, my sud scale is very low when looking at this bowl, but when I broke it, it was up there, it was high. And then just really notice what's going on in the system during this time. What are you noticing in your body? What negative cognitions are coming up for you while you're looking at these pieces of the bowl? And we're journaling that, we're writing that stuff down. What positive cognitions do you have now that you see that your bowl is back together in a different way? And there still might be some negative cognitions there. So let's look at that and let's do a little bit of work around that.
oh, it's
So
so good.
really
Like
a
a
lot of
whole body experience. Like it sounds like there's like left brain, right brain, and whole like their felt sense, and then you're having to do some mindfulness. Okay, so where can you take this amazing workshop?
It is called Perfectly Imperfect, Embracing Flaws and Imperfections with Kintsugi and Internal Family Systems. And you can find that information on my training website, trainwithcarmen.com. And I'll make sure that you have the link that they're able to connect to it. And I have a couple of those workshops for this upcoming year.
Wow, that's incredible. I think about like when we kind of come home to ourselves, we show up on a whole different level. Like in our personal and our professional lives, it almost seems like I mean, it definitely professional development, but to me, it seems like there's some personal growth that's going to happen there as well. Just even learning how to do it,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah,
do
and
it individuals and groups, like a whole all different settings.
definitely, I've done this with couples where they have broken a bowl together, that the bowl represents their relationship.
Ooh,
I have done this with a family. And the family was very interesting, very interesting. They broke the bowl and each of them got pieces. So they were able to create their piece and then they came together and put it back together. So that bowl represented their family. Now we had a nice big bowl, so everybody can get a nice piece and be represented. But it was a family of four. And the way that they connected on that day, and it was amazing just to watch that shift because they would get into session and argue. And I would be like the ringleader, like, okay, calm down. The referee, more, yeah, referee. I'm trying to get them in their corners. And when we did this activity and just going through that meditation, they all got an opportunity to break the bowl. And the father he was super emotional and he's like, hitting this bowl really made me connect to how I show up in the family and how I bring my negativeness to the family. And I was like, whoa.
awareness. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Awareness.
Now, okay, so you're going like this. Is there a hammer involved? Like,
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to mention like
I'm like,
they're
yeah,
not like beating it with your
yeah, no, not our hands.
okay, no hand.
We
Just
put the bowl in a Ziploc bag
uh-huh.
and I have them hold it and they just hit at different points wherever they feel led to hit the bowl. And they hit it just a couple of times and the bowl breaks.
That is incredible. Absolutely amazing. I feel like just even learning about it and seeing the bowls, I can't even imagine what it would be like to do it firsthand. And do you do it online workshops in person or both?
Both. I have done the last couple of workshops that I've done have been in person and small groups. And then I'm doing some online so people can have access to it.
Okay. It's so cool how we can do this stuff that like previously would have been like, yeah, I don't know if you could do that online. And it turns out we can do some really incredible stuff online.
Right. Right.
Oh, so we're almost out of time, but I want to make sure that people know where to go to learn more from you. We'll have all your links below, but someone may just be listening. So if you could just kind of say it verbally.
Across all social media platforms, I'm Pride LCSW. That's PRIDE LCSW. And you can find me again across all social media platforms. My main training site is trainwithcarmen.com. So that's where you'll find all of my upcoming offerings.
Okay, this sounds good. And you're an EMDR at the time of this recording, consultant and training, but you'll be a consultant soon. Like so many great things. You're definitely a gift. All right, Carmen, thank you. Take care.
Same to you. Thanks.
On site, everything at the bottom.
Became a mighty battle cat. And I became He-Man.
Can I hide with you?
Oh, you want to know if you can hide with me or if I can hide with you. You choose. Would you like to hide together?
You hide with me.
Now we're under here.
28, 29, 30. Ready or not, here I come. Found you.